Hi everyone, Bernard here. Hope you're all staying safe and well, and welcome to the film and TV channel. And we're going to have a look at a little HBO series today, a 6-episode mini-series. It's showing weekly, so I can't binge watch this one, but I've watched the first two. I thought I always watch the first two and then give you a little view of what's going on and what other people are saying about these things as well. So today, join me as we look at something called The Nevers. Please, if you're new to the channel, push that subscribe button, and enjoy what you see, please push that notification button. I do these little drama reviews, film reviews, information vlogs on DVDs and cinema releases, etc. So if you have any interest in that, please point that, I say, push those buttons, and I will keep you informed. And if you look at my playlist, you'll see some stuff on a football team, Manchester City as well. That's my team. I do history vlogs, present vlogs, magazine vlogs, book club vlogs, lots of different things on there. So if it's of any interest, or you know somebody might be interested, please point them in my direction. I'll be very, very grateful. But today we're not looking at football, we're looking at film and TV, so if that's interests you. So please, if you need any friends or followers on Facebook and Twitter, if you're starting out or you just want some new friends and followers, just seek me out. The links are on screen there. I do try and follow everyone back within 2 or 3 days. I do check every 2 or 3 days and follow and friend everyone back on there. And all your comments are very welcome. Comments on this or anything to do with film and TV. It doesn't have to be this HBO series. It could be anything you want to talk about. Just it's always nice to hear from you. And if you haven't got time to give a little comment, if you enjoy this, please just give us a little thumbs up. It's nice to get views, but it's nice to get thumbs up as well. Yeah, they're never 6 episodes. So we've had episode 1 and 2. I'll just tell you a little bit about the pilot. If I just go onto Internet Movie Database, the pilot episode is rating 7.9 on Internet Movie Database. That's not too bad, is it? And the pilot is 3 years after an inexplicable event suddenly equips them with extraordinary abilities. AMMONITE True and Penance Adair work to protect their kind from widespread deepening antipathy. Meanwhile, Police Inspector Frank Mundy, played by Ben Chaplin, investigates a string of murders at the hands of a reportedly touched and highly dangerous serial killer named Malady. Yeah, so there you go. We've also watched Exposure. That was the second one as well. So it is a science fiction drama created by, well, he does split opinion, this guy, doesn't he? Joss Whedon for HBO. He does sort of get some people's backs up. I can understand why. And obviously, as you can see from that pilot episode description, it's a gang of Victorian women who do have sort of find themselves with unusual abilities. And sadly, though, they've got enemies as well. So they end up on a mission that might change the world. Starring in it, we've got Laura Donnelly as Amelie True, one of the touched with the ability to see glimpses of the future just by touching people. There you go. And Skelly as Penance Adair, Amelia's best friend, and a touch with the power to see electrical energy patterns and a skill for inventing. It's like, yeah, it's a bit like Emma out of James Bond. Olivia Williams also stars as Lavinia Bidlow, a rich spinster supporter of the Touched, aka Metahumans, who also runs the orphanage where many of the main characters live. Yeah, so they're the 3 main lady characters. There's lots of different characters in this. It throws loads at you, so it can be a little bit confusing in the early sort of knock-ins of this series. The premiere episode was on the April the 11th, so say I've just literally watched the April the 18th second episode now, and it drew just over 1.4 million viewers from across linear telecasts and digital, making it the best start for a new HBO original series on HBO Max. So very, very good to you. Any good? Well, here we go. Here's where it starts. We start having a little bit of a problem. Rotten Tomatoes, the series has just an approval rating of just 47%, so less than 50%. We're quite positive on this. And the consensus reads, despite strong performances and stellar production design, the Never struggles to stitch its slew of intriguing components into a solid show. I'm not 100% sure whether all those critics have watched the whole series, to be honest with you, but we'll go more into that in a moment. On Metacritic, in fact, on Rotten Tomatoes, the audience rating is about 80-odd%, so that just shows you the disparity there. On Metacritic, the other critic site we'll look at, the series has a score of just 56 out of 100, so a little bit better, but not fantastic. And that's based on 23 critics' reviews as I'm doing this on the 19th of April 2021, so all these scores are as at that date. And he does score anywhere between 3 out of 10, which is quite low, a bit low that I think for this, and 9 out of 10, which is again a bit high, but not quite as high as the low is low, to be honest with you. One of the lower scores came from Sonia Saraya for Vanity Fair. She only gave it 4 out of 10 and said, "There's something a little too silly about the Nevers at present. Simply put, we are not seeing Wedding at his best, and it's difficult to imagine how the show will resolve into something coherent when its creator has stepped away. If a show has thorny, unanswered questions behind the scenes, how will it approach them on screen?" There you go. So yeah, as I say, 6 episodes, so perhaps it's doable. Richard Rupert of the Chicago Sun-Times, well, he liked it a lot more. He's 7.5 out of 10, so he did enjoy it. He said, even when the multiple plot strands curl this way and that, and if it's a bit difficult to keep track of all the players without a scorecard, it certainly is. That was my first impression. The Nevers is a dazzling visual feast with gorgeous sets and first-rate CGI. In fact, I think he nicked my words on this one. Sly humour, ambitious and sometimes deeply moving set pieces, and wonderful performances from an ensemble cast. There you go. So you say, how can something get 3 out of 10 and something get up to 9 out of 10 and gets things like that? I mean, people are seeing this in totally different ways, which is a shame. Internet Movie Database, that's Joe Public. So obviously most of these have just seen the first episode or the first 2 episodes because obviously this is Joe Public. So like me, I haven't got access to watching the full series. 3,127 scores and reviews left as I'm recording this. 7.1 out of 10, so as you can see, a high score. And as I said, the 2 episodes so far have scored 7.9 and 8 out of 10, so it's not done too bad. So what about my thoughts? Yes, I mean, if you had to make a comparison, it's going to be a bit like X-Men. Obviously, if you're talking these special powers, and there's goodies and there's baddies, and there's people obviously being kidnapped and made to work for one or the other. So, well, not certainly for the baddies, you get kidnapped. For the guys the goodies obviously don't get kidnapped, do they? But perhaps in a certain way. But yeah, so it's a bit like an X-Men and League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, if you remember that. Obviously, it was set at a similar time, wasn't it? I think it's set back in time, because this is set in, of course, in Victorian England, is it? But certainly that sort of time period. But it is another led by strong, extraordinary, instead of extraordinary gentlemen, extraordinary women in this one, which is pretty fine in my book, because I did enjoy watching the ladies in this. I think they're fantastic. It sort of works for me anyway. I mean, sets-wise, as I think the critics said there, acting-wise, effects, everything looks superb. You can sort of lose yourself in the scenery and the style of the film and the time. But then again, the first episode is a bit up and down, and then obviously it does start to settle down a little bit in episode 2. And it is certainly a much easier watch. I think it's a matter of getting to know the characters, and as someone said there, it throws that many different characters at you. It does get a little bit confusing, a little bit higgledy-piggledy, and a little bit annoying at times. But by the end of episode 2, I was sort of pretty well. I mean, I liked it anyway. I liked episode 1. It was okay. You won't say it was great, but by episode 2, I was getting more into it, as I say, because I do like the strong female characters in this. I think they're superb. Most of the men so far featured have very, very minor roles and very wishy-washy guys, and a bit meh. So obviously it is the women. So if you don't like that, you probably won't like this series. But that's how it is. That's what happens. I mean, Donnelly and Skelly are particularly a joy to watch. I just enjoy watching the relationship. The chemistry is fantastic. As I say, but most of the characters there's very, very few, as you'd expect. There's a mix of actors, a mix of nationalities in this, but obviously a lot of English character actors, and you do get some pretty rubbishy ones. But this is pretty good. This has picked up some good actors in this one. I'm struggling to find the really poor actors. There's some that are okay, some are better than others, but yeah, with British stuff usually you do get quite a mixed range, but this isn't too bad at all. It can be too clever, and certainly episode 1 was perhaps too clever and complicated. As I said, it's all bells and whistles, and is it trying to make an impression? I think it is. I think they're trying to impress early doors and get people interested, but I think they tried a little bit too hard with that episode 1. But thankfully, as I said, it wasn't as confusing episode 2. It began to make a little bit more sense. It's of course got an very adult theme. Teens will probably like it who like fantasy adventure stuff. Teens should enjoy it, but certainly not for younger children. I don't think they see. There's some scenes in it would interest younger children, but it is certainly definitely an adult aimed at an adult. Obviously, you would probably say young adult, wouldn't you? But I mean, I'm an old adult, but there you go. I enjoyed it, so there you go. So as I say, it's definitely a sort of adult theme to this. Some of the things that go on, so not bad at all. Episode 1 and 2, as I said, 1. If I had to rate them, I would rate episode 2 a little bit higher than 1. And it can improve, and I've read some of the reviews that actually say episodes 3 and 4 actually it starts to sort of even out, and you get more sort of character development on certain characters rather than throwing too many characters at you. So, as you say, there's going to be, and also some twists and turns which we like to see, which we've seen a couple already. I mean, there's already within the 2 episodes, there's been a couple of all right, and not totally unexpected, but it was nice to see the plot moving along and changing as it went through, and certainly. Even the X-Men feel didn't sort of die out either. That sort of came into it, even for one of the protagonists to be in a wheelchair. So there you go. It's a little bit of a nod at that, but it's no worse for that. I've just recently watched, is it The Irregulars as well? I think there's a review been done, or it's actually been posted. I think I've done the review. I don't think it's been posted yet. But yeah, that's all right. It's not the same sort of plot, but obviously it's similar sort of time, etc. And of the 2, I think, obviously 2 episodes in, I've actually watched all The Irregulars. 2 episodes in, I think this is better than The Irregulars. I think this has more to grab you, more to keep you watching than perhaps The Irregulars, which was a little bit yeah, it was okay, but not quite as powerful and gritty and well shot as this is. Let's be honest about it. So episodes 1 and 2, and I'm hoping this rating will go up slightly. Very watchable in my opinion. So they're going to get my very watchable rating of 6.5 out of 10, and I will look forward to episode 3. And I can't always say that about these weekly mini-series. Don't always. Some I just watch out of habit, but others I look forward to. And I do look forward to episode 3, 4, 5, and 6 with this, and hopefully, as I said, from some of the critique I've read, it does get even better. So I'll be quite happy to nudge that 6.5 up by the end of this series. Anyway, if you are watching this, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of this mini series so far. As I said, I'm quite happy with it. As I say, it's just so nice to look at, and at least there's an okay plot in there as well. Once they start sorting it out and getting it few, not too many subplots, please. Just keep it nice and simple if you can. Certainly old heads like mine struggle a little bit. Anyway, thanks for watching. Whatever you're going to do the rest of the day, have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your families. More importantly, let's all look after each other. Till we meet here again on the Film and TV channel, or perhaps have a flit across, look at my Citizen channel, my football channel. All I ever ask of you is please stay safe, everyone. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.